Okay, so welcome back to Archetypes of the Tarot. This is a series where I've been taking a look at a deck of tarot cards, giving you my first impressions of what the symbolism of each card might mean. And then once I'm done, we take a look in the book and we see how close I got. So today's card that we're going to be looking at is the Strength card, which is card number 8 in this series. We've kind of done things out of order up until now. But I wanted to point out the number 8 because 8 is actually like a fairly significant number in Eastern philosophy or Buddhism. You could think of like the 8 trigrams of the I Ching, right? And an 8 number system rather than a 10 or a 12. 8 number systems are kind of like maybe it only goes up to 64 or something like that, but there were various forms of counting where like that was the system that they used. And so 8 is actually significant in that it's kind of denoting like a balanced system, 4 and 4 or 4 groups of 2, things like that. So it is significant that they decided to make this card number 8 in the series, because there's also a bunch of other symbolism here, kind of signaling or referencing God, right? You have the golden sky, which is kind of like God's domain, right? The golden sun, the golden sky. You have this infinity symbol over her head, which is kind of God or infinite life or infinity, stuff like that, right? And the actual lion itself is a symbol of God, right? You might have seen other lions in things like crests or on flags and heraldry, stuff like that, where people use the symbol of the lion to reference God or to mean God. And so here we have this woman, right, in white with red flowers. It's kind of signifying to me uh, virginal strength, right? Or let's say untrammeled strength, untouched. Like she's pure, she's perfect, right? Symbol of the divine feminine. In this case, maybe kind of referencing Mother Nature, right? And she's got her hands around the lion's mouth, and the lion has its tongue sticking out. And to me, that's saying like almost like two things. Either she's closing the lion's mouth so it can't speak, or she's opening it so that it can. But it can only function if she allows it to, right? And you have some green ground, blue mountain in the background. Those are also probably significant from an alchemical perspective. But what this card means, or what it's kind of referencing towards with strength, it's sort of like the strength of the truth, right? The strength of God, but in the sense of like, you could almost say, the truth shall set you free, right? It's like the lion can only speak if it's speaking the truth, right? And everything in the card kind of aligns with the fact that it's the strength, you could say, the strength of your arguments, the strength of your convictions, right? When everything is aligned in such a way that you are congruent, you are in the same direction as the truth or with God, right? So that's a fairly simplistic way to think about that. But if you were thinking about it in the way that we've talked about some of our other cards, with if you were trying to solve the murder mystery or telling a story, those kinds of things, right? It's like the truth just so happens to be the truth, right? And your position, your arguments, your path in life will only ever be as successful as how much you are aligned with the truth. And that's what gives you strength in your arguments in your pathway, in the things that you do, right? And so that's really what this card is pointing us towards, right? It's like, how much do you align with the things that you actually can't really control, right? It's a lion, right? It could bite your hands off, it could eat your face, it could do all those things, right? The only way that you can control it is if you know the truth, right? That's what they're kind of referencing here. In an in my own head canon, the strength card, I would represent it with a horse. I've always kind of thought of that symbolism for strength, like something that can't be tamed, uh, and runs wild and free. Like it has its own motivations, its own direction that it's going to go in, and you can either be with it and ride on it and be successful, or you can get left in the dust, that kind of a thing, right? But this symbolism here has much more sort of weighty, uh, biblical maybe symbolism tied into it, and so that's probably why it's the one that they go with. You could think of what was it? Isn't it David that wrestles the lion? And then there's another story about like the lion with the thorn in its paw and the mouse removes the thorn and all those kinds of things. It's like, I think this card is still referencing similar ideas as those, right? And so hopefully that gives us a little bit of a hint as to what strength might be pointing us towards. But let's take a look in the book and see what it can tell us. So, where are we? Here we go. Strength or fortitude. A woman, over whose head there broods the same symbol of life which we have seen in the card of the Hierophant, is closing the jaws of a lion. The only point in which this design differs from the conventional presentations is that her beneficent fortitude has already subdued the lion, which is being led by a chain of flowers. For reasons which satisfy myself, this card has been interchanged with that of Justice, which is usually numbered 8. As the variation carries nothing with it which will signify to the reader, there is no cause for explanation. Fortitude, in one of its most exalted aspects, is connected with the divine mystery of union. The virtue, of course, operates in all planes, and hence draws on all of in its symbolism. It connects also with the innocentia inviolata, innocence inviolated, and with the strength which resides in contemplation. These higher meanings are, however, matters of inference, and I do not suggest that they are transparent on the surface of the card. They are intimated in a concealed manner by the chain of flowers, which signifies, among other things, the sweet yoke and the light burden of divine law, when it has been taken into the heart of hearts. The card has nothing to do with self-confidence in the ordinary sense, though this has been suggested, but it concerns the confidence of those whose strength is God, and who have found their refuge in him. There is one aspect in which the lion signifies the passions, and she who is called strength is the higher nature in its liberation. It has walked upon the asp and the basilisk, and has trodden down the lion and the dragon. Those are all alchemical symbols, right? The snake, the dragons, the basilisk, the lion, all of those things. You could say you're in line with all of the powers of the universe, i.e., God, And so, therefore, you have power over all of those domains. So, apparently, Strength is the lady, and she's pretty powerful and has power to command over everything, right? I still think she represents the truth, the strength of your convictions, the strength of God when you are in alignment, right? And so that would be the most that I could inference from just looking at the symbolism of this card, right? It's like she's strong without having to try to be strong. It's not like a picture of a muscle man, right? Lifting up something heavy, right? It's almost like the lion is bent to her will regardless because she's already powerful, right? You kind of get that impression from the card. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed that little quick view of Strength. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and join me next time when we will be doing my favorite card, the Hermit. And we will see you again for that. So have a good one, guys, and we'll see you then.